Oh, you cunt. Hello, GMAN Division 5A. I am your recapper, Hargrim, and with me, as usual, I have. Well,
I am McNugget.
yeah, that guy.
Hello. Hello.
Alright, so you've all played your matches. I haven't really had the opportunity to look at most of them, but I'm assuming that it's been absolute slaughter again, as is tradition with a party div, apparently.
It tends to be. It also probably depends if Hummersep decided to base every Amazon in the world again.
Yeah, yeah.
But we'll see.
Hummersep again. Stop fucking basing with Amazons! Right, so we're going to start off with looking at last week's match results. Starting off with the hat tricks against the Amazing Strippers. Berserk against Bleeding Hippie. Sorry. And
Hippie's game didn't go too well.
no. Two deaths. Yeah. I would have bet my money on the Chorfs anyway.
I don't know if I would have bet my money against Hippie. I don't think ever betting against Hippie is a smart move. However, if you have a look at the statistics, the hat tricks made 23 successful blocks and got 12 armor breaks out of that.
That's pretty damn good.
So, which then included 2 KOs, 2 injuries, and 2 kills. So I just think, and then if you look at Hippie with his 1 armor break and 19 block, I think it was possibly a bit of a murder fest and just probably Hippie not having enough players to do very much by the end of the game.
Absolutely. Yeah, that seemed to be a complete slaughter for Hippie.
Yeah, but go Chors. Oh wait, I played with elves. Go with elves. Old habits.
Next up, we have the Kleptocrats against Witches Be Trippin', where surprisingly the Kislev won.
Yeah, it was always going to be a tough game. Obviously, the Kislev with their multiple leapy guard sacker players. It's always going to be, they're always going to have a good chance and such. So clearly, a good close game there, and obviously, hopefully not too much damage on either team.
Yeah, it does suck that both players, at least Witches Be Trippin', got an MVP on a niggled lineman, and the Kleptocrats got the MVP on an armor busted lineman.
Yeah,
that is a loner.
So yeah, not great MVPs for either coach there. Definitely.
No, absolutely not. And I mean, the Kleptocrats doing 35. Both actually did the same amount of blocks. The exact same amount of blocks. 35.
And then up next we have the Blessed Ones versus Dorflectric Mayhem. Chubstep's Dwarfs doing what they seem to always do and getting hurt.
Chubstep, I'm disappointed in you. You're a dwarf coach. You should do better. But yeah, that is definitely a nice win for Ramhard after his after his vanity passing Mayhem in week 1.
Yeah, definitely. And it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully, not too much major damage on the Dwarfletics, but we'll be able to catch that in the next part when we look at the teams. And nice MVP for Ramhard as well, getting another 5 SPP on a Chaos Warrior. It was one that he'd obviously leveled, but still getting SPP on them is always nice to get them to Mighty Blow.
Absolutely, yeah. Next up, we have the Dead Pulse versus Revenge of the Ratatars. So Skaven again winning because Skaven
Mighty Rat Ogre smash. I think Raticate is getting a bit of a reputation. I don't know if Metal's quite got to the stage where the bounty is, the value of Metal's house yet. But I feel every week when Raticate destroys more and more teams, Metal starts putting more and more money into the bounty of it.
Yeah. Eventually, we're going to see him selling his soul and his.
They were sold years ago. How do you think Metal became head of Rebel? He sold his soul and his firstborn.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, but no, not an upset. But I think this was possibly what we were saying was game of the week. You know what I mean? Demure Nichols, Necro, which are really nice, and then also that insane Skaven team that Ambi has as well. So this is possibly, if you are going to watch any game back from the week before, this would be my one
watch
to go
this
and have
one.
A look at. Yeah. So we'll also be able to check out the teams when we get to that spot as well. And now, speaking of possibly metal or pyro. I can never remember which is which.
This is metal.
All right. So speaking of assholes, metal.
Asshole. Picking up a nice MVP on the Serpents of Inneruk, getting the wrestle, potentially going into tackle, but we can take a look at that in a minute. And then obviously the injured Skelly, nothing serious though, so that's at least something.
It's always good to see.
But that is a nice win for the Dark Elves. And Metal sort of deserves this after the absolute dicing last match.
It is. Although Metal's still struggling to get any actual injuries on anybody, so no doubt he will be hoping to play the Elves soon, or actually just do some casualties.
Yeah.
You know, I think his team really needs to start getting those Tomb Guardians leveled up. But
he really does.
Tough game for him, to be fair. Dark Elves v Khemri is really in the Dark Elf favour.
Heavily.
It is heavily in their favour. So, Serpents of Inneruk doing what was expected of them and picking up the win, which is always a solid result and good to see.
Good boy. Your uncle is proud of you.
And then Hummer clearly took I was dropping his favour. He was cast aside as the unwanted child, the disappointment, as you might say, last week. And coming back with a big 3-0 win to get back into my heart. And Hummer for the title is back on again. Hummer number 1.
Yeah. I watched part of this match and it was just going absolutely in Hummersep's favour at every point possible.
So you're saying he zinged his opponent?
He singed his opponent, yes.
Yeah.
That's going to become a thing now.
Possibly. But no, Hummersep coming back with a nice big win. Had a cheeky wee peek at his team, which we're going to see in a minute. He is looking almost as good as he was at the start of the season. So definitely getting back on track and on the way to get that number 1 spot.
So go Hummer. Yay.
Go Hummer. Woo.
Woo.
You're now my favourite child again, Hummersep. Well done.
And finally, we have Pyro's Khemri against Singe's Nurgle. 0-0 draw, which is sort of to be expected, but...
Who'd have thought, yes. It was quite good. Zinge, of course, picking up 1 regen, succeed, 1 regen failed, and Pyro's regen thankfully kicked in overtime. Out of 6 regenable injuries, he passed 5 of them.
Hey!
So, well done, Pyro's regen. MVP for that game.
He did still sustain a death, though, which we can take a look at in a minute.
Can indeed. Possibly a wee bit of a disappointment from Zinge. Obviously has been on a good run the last couple of weeks, but Nurgle v Khemri, they're always going to be a tough game for either coach to win there.
Neither of them can really handle the ball that well.
No. So not an unexpected result.
No, not at all. Right, let's take a look at the teams, starting off with Metal's Khemri, the Full Metal Alchemist.
Yep. Tomb Guardians.
Still nothing on the Tomb Guardians.
No, still begging from SPP. Metal decided to just go full fuck you Ambi with the double Mighty Blow tackle Blitzriz.
To be honest, that is actually the best choice as a second skill after Mighty Blow on the Blitzraz, at least in my opinion.
I would have liked to see one of them take Pylon.
I don't think Pylon is that necessary in necessary yet in a division full of elves, or at least plenty of elves.
Well, that's the question, depending on when he plays them and such. But yeah, and now second throw rat, believe just leveled up for wrestling stuff, and he does of course have his dirty player there. So Metal, I think he's going to hate us for saying it, and we know, but just needs to try and get some SPP on Tomb Guardians.
Which means take 2 die blocks, 3 die blocks, 1 D blocks, 3 die uphills. It doesn't matter. Just
I think he's been doing it all, and these are just possibly the biggest pussy Tomb Guardians that have ever existed. I don't think they know what an injury is. I don't think somehow they've seemed to forgot what other people did to them that resulted in their deaths.
Maybe they just died of old age.
Yeah, from being cuddled too much. Because that seems to be what they do for their opponents.
Yeah, the only real thing to say about this team is it really needs to start getting the casualties on the Tomb Guardians.
Because sadly,
yeah.
You can't plan. There's nothing you can realistically do. It either happens or it doesn't, especially without Mighty Blow and stuff. So hopefully they do start kicking in and getting a bit aggressive. Metal, just go and give them some coaching. We all know you're a bit of an animal. Just go give them some coaching, mate.
Go slap them across the face. Do what you do best.
Yeah. Yes.
Next up.
And up next, the number 1 son, Hummersep.
Hummerset Zons.
Looking good. Looking good. We've got the plus movement. I think, is that plus movement new?
Yes, the plus movement is new.
He is back to some cheeky blitzer action.
Yep,
And
obviously.
as we said, it's almost like that game against Zinj didn't happen. Now, the Agi 4 line movement is just movement busted, who I believe is
No,
also
it's just a miss next game.
who I believe is also new.
Yeah, it seems like the plus Agi is new as well, which is really
Yeah.
good having two Agi 4 pieces on a Zon team.
Exactly. So, Hummerset really gotten over that week one, going in the right directions now. So, we'd expect to see some big things. Just stop basing shit, Hummer, okay?
Yeah, just stop basing and just go kill some more elves or something.
Yeah. Do me proud, son. Do me proud.
Be a good boy.
Yeah. Up next.
Speaking of good boys, we have Zinj. Nothing much here other than, just a miss next game or something on a rotter. Yeah, just a cheeky miss next game on a rotter. There's nothing else really happening.
Basically has the money for the third reroll, which I presume he will pick up before his next game.
Yep.
That will put him in some good stead. And just, back to the grinding out some SPP on Warriors and just trying to get results and wins when you can.
Yep.
Not much past that. 14 players, quite a big bench. I don't know if at any point he might think of trimming one of them down to 13 or that. He might have a look at his next game and might not want to give up too much or such. But
well, for his next game, he'll have 13 players, so I think he should be fine.
Yeah.
But after that, I think you should trim one of the rotters at least.
Depends what you'll be facing. There'll be some teams that if he is giving up a wizard to elves, regardless of trimming the player or not, he's probably best keeping it and just fouling them a lot. But no, just a really nice Nurgle team, just needing a wee bit more development on the Warriors, and hopefully can start picking up some Mighty Blow Claw Pestigor soon as well.
Proud Strife is one MVP away from the Mighty Blow or the Guard, depending on what you choose. And Airwith Gravesbarrow is also an MVP or 2 casualties away.
Yep.
So that's pretty nice.
Hopefully a bit of development to come soon. Up next, dear old Pyro and his recovering Khemri. Does, of course, still have that niggled Hummerset, who he doesn't have the money to replace.
Yeah.
Oh, he does have the money
He
to replace
does have
it
the money
if
to
he should
replace
want.
it, yeah.
So
I
it'll
would
be
consider
interesting to see.
replacing it because it's a 0 SPP Tomb Guardian with a niggle.
Yeah. And there'd be nothing worse than if Hummerset did take next game's MVP, and then you then kind of have just lost that 5 SPP.
Yeah.
Apart from that, it is a team that has taken a few setbacks and is not too underdeveloped compared to the other Khemri team in this division, which is ironic, but it's still got a lot of action on it, you know what I mean? So it does have at least his Mighty Blow Blitz He's got that nice Strength 4 throw as well. So just a case of, again, recovering from week one and that and just getting a bit more development on the team, as it were.
Yeah, and replace Hummerset. Replace Hummerset the Tomb Guardian, because as it stands, he will drag the team down if the armor break does eventually come through. And especially with decay on that player as well, that niggle can really be deadly.
Yes, definitely. Just if you have the money to replace it and it's still rookie, I would seriously suggest, or seriously consider, not a massive Khemri player, but if there's no need to have the niggle there, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I would replace it. But moving on to Gajisis Delicacies of Doom.
Of Doom.
This elf team has taken a trouncing.
It's done what pro elves seem to do, and that's just fold and destroy themselves. I mean, again, I feel that we say this every week. It's still a team, though, that is a couple of SPP away from getting a nice wee burst of development. He doesn't have enough money for a blitzer yet. That's okay. We can get that next game. But you look at the thrower and the catcher, 2 SPP. So your turn 1, hiding the pitch, 2 vanity passes back and forward for each of them. There's 2 levels. Boom, done. And then just looking to get some development where you can. Pro elves, you know what I mean? They're still elves at the end of the day. They're still Agi4 nonsense. So
especially with Frittata and Freezon as well. Having just catch Nerves of Steel in itself is a great skill combination for a rookie catcher.
Losing them's going to be what happens, and you realistically, you just care about getting the SPP on those positionals as much as you can. And with the elves, that is quickly done. You can go like 25 SPP developed like games easily with elves, and that's not including your MVP. You know what I mean? You can just do
Yeah.
silly things with them. So, just hanging in there. Would like hopefully gets a big week next week, and we get to see a lot of development coming from them.
Yeah, and don't forget to bring out your vanity passing pentagram.
Yes, back forward, back forward, back forward, back forward.
Absolutely. Going on to Ravers Serpents of Inneruk. They had a good week this week, picking up a cheeky Strength 4 Witch Elf.
Oh, that is nice. That is very nice indeed.
That's nice. That piece is gonna save you.
Now, here's a bit of my problem with. So, last couple of weeks we discussed the whole wrestle tap block issue with linemen.
Yeah.
And I said I like to kind of take block at the start, then kind of transcend into wrestle. You've now got a wrestle guarder.
That's not exactly the best combination.
Elves need now. I agree taking the guard because elves need guard everywhere they can get. However, you're in this very unfortunate position where you have guard on a player that will not stay on their feet on a both down. But absolutely. I agree with taking it. Wrestle, it's not like a lot of people argue that wrestle first on Dark Elf lineman is the best skill to take, or one of the kind of go-to ones. I like to take block because I like to have my players offense and defense on the LOS. You know what I mean? And then once I get my team developed a bit more, I'll move into wrestle when I'm replacing linemen and stuff. But realistically, this is turning into a really nice Dark Elf team. He's got some guard on the Blitzer, who's a touchdown away. The Strength 4 Witch Elf is in a great position. Realistically, you almost want to rush develop her to level 3 just to get block on her, because at the moment she's still susceptible to fouls and one dices and such. So you really rush level her.
Absolutely. Just throw a couple of vanity passes, do some touchdowns on her after you skill up Cottonmouth, of course. But she really needs that block right now, because otherwise she will get a boot in her face.
Yeah. I don't know if I would. So Ravers also has the choice now where if he wants to spend the 140k on getting the next Witch Elf, I don't know if I would rush it at this point. I would maybe wait another game, because I wouldn't want to lose one of the positionals I have without a bit extra bank to back me up. Because if he spends it, it goes down to 20k and then loses something. He does then have 2 almost unprotected witches to look after.
Right now, yeah, you need to keep... I wouldn't buy the Witch Elf either. Because it does take... First off, it takes a lineman off the pitch, and really you want those linemen to protect your positionals, especially your guard blitzer and your now strength up Witch Elf. Because they are going to get boots in their face. Yeah. The Witch Elf predominantly. So having the extra lineman on the pitch as well to just sort of protect her is worth it.
The good thing is, all on the other side of things, if you take the second Witch Elf now, it is another chance to start getting it developed, start getting it MVP'd. Also gives you double threats with the Surfs. So there is pros and cons to it. Be interested to see what Ravers goes for and see what he decides to pick.
Absolutely.
I love this team. I love Ambi tonight.
No. Ambi just... Can't your team just implode?
No, it shall never implode until it kills Metal's team. Abby just winning games and developing players.
Basically just doing what Skaven do best.
Yeah, and even better, so all this development's going on the positionals. So he's had Naughty Ratata that is movement 6, Agi 2, that you still probably keep to just put on the LOS or foul with.
Yeah, that's LOS fodder.
Yeah. Is picked up an MVP, and if you're looking at Docile Ratata and Relaxed Ratata, that's probably random Kazes that they've got. Apart from that,
all the development is on the right players,
and that's exactly what you want to see, and keep them all healthy. So, 5A, beware, the revenge of the Ratatas are here.
Yeah, this is a call out to the rest of the division to murder this team.
Only after it's played Metal and Zinj.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess.
Now, Chubstep has a level.
Woo! He got a level. Mighty Blow Troll Slayer.
Nice.
He is like, he's One Kaz away, one Kaz away, one Kaz away, one
Yep.
Kaz away, and one Kaz away on 5 out of 6 Longbeards.
Yes.
My phone needs to shut up. But which is, and so is the second Troll Slayer, and so
Exactly.
is Janice the Blitzer.
So
Floyd
is
Pepper
most of
is
the
one.
team.
Most of the. I mean, after the
All
next
except
one,
4 players is almost one Kaz away.
yeah,
Or a touchdown. And Jess Chubstep's had a rough week 1 and week 2, but you know what I mean? It's dwarves. They are tough to get going. But as you said, so many players one Kaz away from a level. So Chubstep probably praying to meet some of this AG7, AG8 and actually break it, and then just go for a massive jump in development.
I
And
had
then
the
everybody
same.
will be
I had
okay.
the same issue when I played the first season Dwarfs. It's basically just first season Dwarf experience. It's
Yeah.
random Kazes across a lot of different players, and then eventually, after like game 3, 4, or 5, your team just explodes in skills.
Yeah.
Which
Exactly.
hopefully, depending on your next matchup, should happen on at least one or two of the Longbeards, potentially even the second Troll Slayer. Which will be
Hopefully.
really nice for this team once it starts getting the guard on the Longbeards.
Yeah.
So just keep up the good work, Chubstep. Just kill some more players, and you should be happy, and I'll be happy.
Yes.
Next up, moving on to Crow Dogs, Witches Be Trippin'. This team took a bit of a pounding as well.
Yeah, we've got a missing in action Rufus, the Witch Elf. We've got on Sweeney, we've got a Niggle there, which is a
Yep.
bit rough.
Did pick
And
up the
I'm
dodge on Swaney though, so it should hopefully equal out the niggle.
pretty sure already had the dodge from before, if I remember correctly.
Wasn't that
May have
just the
had-
MVP that we got?
I'm not sure.
Kratz. It was, yes.
So yeah, it's picked up the dodge. It's a tough one. This, you know what I mean? The development again is going on the right players. Moose, obviously, the one pass away from Blodge IG5, or depending on how he wants to take him down the route of tackles, strip ball, whatever it is.
I would still go dodge first.
Well, it depends what he rolls, because if you roll a double, you don't know. Could be a nice wee IG5 garden or juggernaut into strip ball.
Yep.
But it'd be interesting to see. Now, just a case here, just getting the games going. You know, the Witch is missing, which isn't great. We don't have enough money at this point to get the fourth blitzer, but I would be saving up for that fourth blitzer before replacing anything else. Keep the movement 5. It's line forward at the moment. It's just stacking the development on these players. And it's just a case of Dark Elves. You know what I mean? Once you start getting that fourth blitz and second Witch, you just take a big jump up in utility and such for your team. It's a jump not far away from Crow Dog here.
Yeah, and obviously getting the SBP on the positionals, Jerome is an MVP away from another skill. And obviously Moose just like a vanity pass away from potentially getting dodge, or if a double's rolled, potentially guard or something like that. It could turn out to be a really good team depending on the skill ups. But it's gonna really be hard for the next match without that Witch Elf.
It will, but you know it's good experience playing your teams without the key positionals, because they're going to happen at other times during the season or important games. So just take it away as a learning experience to how you would going to have to adapt your play style to do so, missing like a blitz on the Witches. That's how I'd think of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Moving on to Berserk's Hat-Tricks Chorfs. Now,
You've got a plus movement Hobgoblin. I like that a lot.
there's nothing much really to say about that. That's just so good a skill.
I like that a lot.
Picking up a Claw of Chorf blocker. It is only Agi 1, but that doesn't really matter.
Nope. You take Claw every time you can in Chorst. The only downside to the Agi one is it probably means you're not handing off as much as you'd like to do so, to chase it up to the next level. But based on the last game, obviously against Chopstep and such, looking at those Chorf blockers, they're all now kind of within MVP range, which is good to see.
They're getting there.
One. I do think, having not had the chance to watch a lot of Berserk's games, if I can do so in his next game or that, I'd like to watch a few of his games, because so much SPP going on to Hobgoblins. I would like to see a lot more of it going on bulls and chorse.
I would potentially just start using the hobgoblins to pick up and then hand off to the chorf blockers just to get them the touchdown SPP.
And it does appear that the handoff part's the part that is missing from the end of this. So, I you know what I mean. I would like to, because realistically, chorfs can take quite a long time to level because they are AG2. You know what I mean. They're relying on casualties. Your bulls, which you really want up and running, don't start with block. So, you know what I mean. Getting them to at least block is a huge achievement because then they're self-reliant. And hobgoblins, you don't want your levels there. You want them all on the positional. So it's still going well because that, you know what I mean, putting out the good results and stuff. The win against Dubstep was a really big one.
It's 2 wins in a row as it stands right now.
I know. So that's good for now. But when everybody else starts developing their positionals, and you're stuck with a whole load of leveled up hobgoblins, you're going to be in for a bad time.
Absolutely.
But no, keep up the good work, Berserk.
Just try and get the handoff off onto the chorf blockers that are at 2 SPP, or even even would love a hat, because that just does put him into MVP range if he gets a single touchdown. But yeah, moving on to Razzlestorm's the Kleptocrats. First comment: why is nothing dead?
I'm really liking the look of this team. He's cleaned up a lot of the stat busts and the poor, like the injuries taken on the team.
It's
now looking a lot leaner.
It is a very clean team as it stands.
Yes, 9 players, but he does have 160k in the bank. Will be interesting to see if he's going to now still pick up the 4th reroll, or go pick up a player, or what he's going to pick up.
Potentially even pick up the bear.
I would like to see some more of these positionals leveled up before taking in any more positionals. I mean, 2 of the blitzers are fine; they have block, but you've got a rookie blitzer there. You've got 2 catchers with 3 catchers with no block on them. 2 of them do have dodge, but you've got dwarfs and chorfs and teams with tackle now in your division. You're going to need block on them, so that's almost 4 positionals needing protected.
Yeah.
Especially, you know what I mean, the guard one. So it is a case, you know. So the blitzers themselves with block, they're a couple of casualties or touchdowns away, but Slobodan Milosevic, touchdown away. I'd like to see get levels so that he can take block,
or 2 vanity passes away.
Exactly. So a bit of vanity passing back and forward, and get that up. So definitely, that's why I wouldn't go for the bear or the 4th blitzer yet, because of how much unprotected stuff that he's got. But I don't know if it's an easy choice between, do I take a 4th reroll? Because if you're going to get the bear, you kind of do want it earlier now. And the bear does act as a lot of protection for your players as well. So in a way, the bear is a 2-for-1 in the sense of you're getting your big guy with mighty blow on the pitch, tying up L's with the tail and leading to a bit of protection for your team. But at the same point, you're still probably wanting a 4th reroll for a Kislev team.
Yeah, because with Kislev, it's just a make or break thing, and the rerolls seriously help with the whole leaping thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Up next, we've got Ramhard, who has went the greedy route on his warrior.
Ooh, that is greedy. Well, thematically, it is Angron, so it makes sense thematically just to go with a Mighty Blow on Angron. So I like the choice, but I also disagree with the choice because it's not block.
Yes, because thematically, Angron's now going to die to a both down result.
Yep. They're the 1 in 9 soakers.
Yes. I know why he's done it. Because he wants to chase Angron up to level 3 along with the rest of the warriors. So it's a bit of a cheat. You know, you take the last leveling warrior, whether it's Nurgle or Chaos, and you take Mighty Blow on them in the hope that you can run up. But at the same point, Call Badder is your blitzer. Mighty Blow Claw, who you're going to want to get block as soon as you can. Angron's going to be relying on people basing him, and people are probably just going to punch him because he doesn't have block.
That's probably the only reason why they would base him, is because they're blitzing him, or
and you're not blitzing with him because you're blitzing with Call Badder every turn that you can.
Yeah.
But it's just nice development. It's yet again more development, keeping it all on the warriors as much as possible, which is what you want. It's just not much to say. Picking up wins as well.
Yep.
Now, so got the rerolls, got a nice wee bank coverage there in case he does lose a player or such. So
I would consider getting the bench, though. Just an
I
extra Beastman would be nice to have on the team in case one of the others goes down.
I wouldn't tell him near 150k. Because if you buy a Beastman now and lose a Warrior, that's 3, 4 games, 5 games possibly. You only have 3 Chaos Warriors.
True.
Remember, Beastmen are only 60k. If you wait till your bank ticks over the 150k, you're only having to get 20k to replace a Warrior. You know what I mean?
That is true.
That's what I would do personally, because there's a lot of bash out there.
A lot of bash in this division, yeah. But just
next,
keep up the good work, Ramhod. It's a tough start for Chaos in the early games, but once they start getting those casualties and the skills, they're really going to take off. And that Claw Mighty Blow is probably going to win you a few games. So yeah. Next up, we do have Bleeding Hippie, the Amazing Strippers. Now, things died. There's a dancer missing.
Yeah, there was a dead war dancer. However, it's still such a good team. We're also missing a catcher. So Hippie's positionals went from a lot to less. He now has enough money for a second reroll. That is good. So he can go up to 3 in total in the game. He may just buy the dancer, though. And I wouldn't hate that.
I honestly, at this point in time, would just replace the dancer. Because the dancer is way more important than the reroll.
Yeah. Out with that, he's got a dodge lineman, which is always nice. He'll have a couple of loners, which is line fodder, which is fine. Diavon Tees is still an absolute machine. You've still got 2 catchers, one with guard as well. So you've still got a lot of inbuilt dodge here. Hippie kind of needs a nice game or 2. Just away from the super bash teams that are just wrecking him, and just a chance to kind of recuperate the team. But as ever, when it comes to Hippie, never count him out. As I said, never bet any money against Hippie. He's just that good a coach.
Right. So he just needs a recovery game at this point in time and hope not to meet another bash team this week.
Almost, yeah.
And finally, we have the Dead Poles, coached by Demio Nickel.
My happiest thing that I saw, he bought the ghoul before the game.
There is a cheeky ghoul there, however, it is missing a fleshy.
Yes, he paid the flesh golem tax. So anybody that's been round Rebel for a while knows that all Necro teams must at some point pay the flesh golem tax. And that's basically the inbuilt rule of you can have Mighty Blow Wolves, but you will only ever have one good flesh golem. Ever. It's just a thing. You pay your toll, you get double werewolves, you get stat werewolves, you will only ever have one good flesh golem. And it has been paid.
Yeah.
To be not terrible, you'll be able to replace it next game. Out with that. Again, nice development. So we've got the Tackle Wolf, the Mighty Blow Wolf, the Ghoul that picked up the touchdown so that it's one more away from block or sure hands. He will be able to pick up another flesh golem. That's not too bad. This is where Guard White's coming so good, because Guard Whites can almost act as a cover for the missing flesh golem.
And not only that, it also helps Eraser May not being frenzy trapped.
Yes, exactly. So this is why I'm a big advocate for Guard on White's first level, not Mighty Blow. Apart from that, it was a tough game. The game against the Rats was to be expected that it was going to come at some cost to either coach and such. But Demure Nickel, you know what I mean? We know he's a very good coach. He will still be a very good coach missing one flesh golem. And to get through that Rat team with both wheels intact and one golem biting the dust, not the biggest price that we're going to see paid this season to that Rat team.
Absolutely not. And even picking up a cheeky block on Kill Clinton.
Yes, which is always nice.
It's a cheeky block there.
Cheeky block, yes.
Yeah. Right. Let's have a look at this week's matches. At least the ones that have yet to be played, but will be played eventually. We do have a nice break for both elf teams. Or at least the Pro Elves and the Wood Elves. Amazing Strippers against the Licacies of Doom. Hippie against Gajice.
This is possibly the best game either coach could have asked for.
It is the best recuperation game that they can get.
This is a game where you probably go, right, I'm going to know that one of us is probably going to lose this game. I'd rather lose it 5-4 and level 3 players than draw it 1-1 or lose it 1-0. That would be my intention. Elf-offs should come down to big scores because realistically, you're not there to bash, you're there to score and level.
Throw
That's
vanity
how
passes, that sort of thing.
I mean, the worry that you're actually discouraged from throwing vanity passes as elves because Hippie has a movement 9 war dancer. Kajais has movement 8 catchers. Your opponent can get to you quickly. He, however, can't bash you, base you the whole lot. So he's less likely to stop scores than he is to base cages and such. So realistically, you are almost encouraged as an elf team to not vanity pass and just run in 2-turn touchdowns.
Yeah, potentially.
Yes.
Then we have Full Metal's Alchemists, which is Pyro's Khemri team, against the Serpents of Inneruk. Again, Raver's picking up a nice match for him because,
This is a big... sadly, this is a game where Pyro will struggle probably to win, but hopefully won't take much damage and be able to get some levels that way. This is in the Serpent's favour. Dark Elves against Khemri is a massive... not equating for the Strength 4 Witch, plus the guard that he has, plus the Blodge. I expect this to be a win for the Serpents. It will be at what cost?
Yeah.
Because Pyro will boot.
Pyro will not only boot, but he will get those Tomb Guardians to just hit whatever they can.
Yes.
Then we have Zinj against Ambitang, Fecal Fantasy, Revenge of the Rattatas.
This is possibly where Hummer likes the rats. Hummer no doubt will be cheering on the Rattatas, and Zinj will be praying that he doesn't lose his team.
Yeah.
I expect Raticate to take out 2 warriors and the beast, just because he's such a boss. However, the rats will have to worry about the amount of block that the warriors do have, but it's going to be a great game to see.
It is. This will be the match to watch this week. So if any one of them is streaming it, or maybe...
I don't know. I think the next game is possibly the game to watch.
That's just going to be a slaughter, but we'll talk about that in a minute. The Nurgle versus Skaven, that is the match to watch this week. Yes. At least in my opinion.
Hopefully they can play Saturday or Sunday and we can maybe get it streamed. Or tonight or tomorrow. Basically, play before Monday because I'm back at work and I'd like to watch it. So
yes,
get it done.
Then you can get then perhaps you can get the Nugget Hargrim cast of the game.
Oh, that could be an option.
That is an option.
Maybe just bring on everybody to be fair to laugh at us and just dying. I really feel Hummer should be allowed to come onto that cast as well.
Agreed.
Yeah, get his revenge.
Yeah.
But definitely, hopefully they'll be able to get that game done soon. Up next is now Hummer's. I've already told Hummer that he's been back to being the number 1 child, and he's already hated me for it because he went, "I'm playing Chubstep this week." So either way, Chubstep's going to murder the crap out of the basing Amazons, and Hummerstep's going to hate me, or Hummerstep's going to win and hate me. So
it's a win-win.
It is. It really is. But this could be the game. You know how we were saying that Chubstep's got about 18 players, 1 casualty away from leveling?
Yeah, this is the game.
Chubstep could not have paid me for a better game this round.
No, this is the game, Chubstep. This is so heavily in your favour. And it's against an AV17 where you have tackle everywhere. This is the game where you get the casualties and you get a shit ton of levels.
Yeah, this is where you go from no guard to 5 guard and another mighty blow. And everybody cries. So, good luck to both coaches.
Yeah. And Hummersep, if you want to avoid having your team murdered, stop fucking basing everything!
Right, up next, Full Metal versus Witches Be Trippin'.
That's in Witches Be Trippin's favour. It's Dark Elves against Khemri. It is the Dark Elf team that's taken a bit of a pounding, but there's still plenty of blodge on the team to be able to make due for that.
Meryl's got 2 mighty blow tackle.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, Metal might actually be able to do very well this match then.
They have 2 blodge. They have the Agi 5. They're missing the Witch, and they've got a guard. I actually think this is possibly in Metal's favour. I know as unusual as that sounds, if Metal can pick up the ball, I don't see the Dark Elves getting it off him.
Absolutely.
If he picks it up and puts it in the cage, I don't see them getting it off him. He has Mighty Blow tackle to hunt down the two blitzers that have got Blodge. And realistically, the second that AG5 hits the ground, Metal is kicking the teeth out of it.
It's going to get booted.
Crow Dog is going to have to play this smart. Crow Dog's almost going to have to play this as a guaranteed 1-0 grind to just elf screen from turn one. I wouldn't overcommit. I would just go to Metal, break through me, and then I'm going to score on turn 8 on my drive. Because there's going to be a couple of loners there. There's not a lot of actual development on the pitch. And there's not a much, unless it's a short kick and he can recover it and save the ball, that's different. But this isn't a game where you can just go aggressive at the Tomb Guardians, or the Khemri rather.
You're going to have to play this incredibly safe.
You've got 2 Blodge at the end of the day, and he's got 2 Mighty Blow tackle. And a bend. You know what I mean? He will fill the nonce off you. So got to be careful in this game. This is this is a game that could hurt a lot.
Very much.
Yes. Up next, we've got the Dead Poles versus the Hat Tricks. So Demure Nichols Necro versus Bazek's Hat Tricks. This is going to also be a tough game. Chor's going to have to watch out for Mighty Blow. They're going to have to watch out for Mighty Blow Claw from the Wolf.
It's going to have to be protected a lot, and it's going to have to blitz every time it can. And if Berserk can get a hit on that Wolf, you need to take it.
Yeah. He's also going to have to be wary of the Dirty Player Hobgoblin. It's a 2-man bench. It's a Choff team that has less guards. This is where the whites can kind of support. Missing the Flesh Golem will hurt, but you've got the guard, you've got the Mighty Blow Claw Wolf. You know what I mean? You've got the skills there you need to pick off the Chors and just run them down. It's going to be a great game to watch. It's going to be a close game, and it's going to be interesting to see how things go for both coaches.
Absolutely. And finally, we have the Blessed Ones against the Kleptocrats, which is Ramhard against Razzle. I think this is going to be a tough one for Ramhard.
Yeah. This is another one where he's got the Claw Mighty Blow, and he's probably going to want to target some of these linemen that the Kislev have. But at the same point, he's not got a lot of defensive ability. He's got no guard, he's got no sure hands, he's got some block. If the Kislev are aggressive here, they could easily run away with this 3-1, 3-0.
Yeah.
However, if the Chaos start picking off players with the Mighty Blow Claw, it could turn into a bit of a murder fest. So I actually wouldn't hate to see Ramhard carrying on a warrior this game.
I wouldn't hate that either.
Because
it's still an AG3 piece.
It's not only that. We've got guard catchers on the Kislev side. So he can easily generate 2 dice and then come in with the blitzers against a beastman. Whereas if you've got the Chaos Warriors, you're forcing double catcher leap in plus the blitzer in for a 1 dice. And that's far less appealing for the Kislev to want to risk. So if I was Ramhard, I'd look at one of my Chaos Warriors and think, and I would do it with a block Chaos Warrior, not the Mighty Blow one.
Agreed.
I would be looking at one of these block warriors and saying, you know what, you're going to carry the ball for me today.
Not only that, I would consider just, if you win the coin toss, let the Kislev receive, and then just play the first half purely for attrition.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. So, now we come to the final part, which is the tipping comps, or the tipping comp. And as of week 2, Demure Nickel taking a solid lead with 9 points, which he made a really good tip this week. I think he tipped correctly, like, what was it, 5 out of these matches?
Nice.
5 out of 7 matches is pretty good. Ambitang and Pyro taking up a second place split with 8 points each. We have Ramhard, Nugget, and I with 7 points. Singe and Ravers with 6 points, both. Razzlestorm and Metal with 5 points each. Hindus with 4. And Bleeding Hippie at the bottom with a solid 3. That's how the tipping comps are looking. So yeah, that was about it that we had. We have still yet to figure out what it is we're going to do for the tip. It's probably going to be...
We'll maybe see if we could find you something in Austria when we're at the World Cup.
Yeah. Just
We'll
something to make you feel pretty.
Yes.
So, that's all we had for this week, guys. So we will be back next week, and we're planning on doing the recaps every Thursday.
Yes.
So, to quote Gerber,
stay classy, folks.
Oh, you cunt. Take care.